Hi guys, now we are going to see the topic about the conditional compilation. See, what is conditional compilation? What purpose we are using this conditional compilation in our C programming language? See, already we had seen in previous class, in the preprocessor directives were divided into 4 categories. The first one, the macro expansion, second one, file inclusion, third one, conditional compilation, and the fourth one, some miscellaneous directive. Now we are going to see about the conditional compilation directives. See, what are the preprocessor directives comes under the conditional compilation directives. See here totally see under this conditional compilation, these are the preprocessor command, preprocessor directives. Here see, these are the directives comes under the conditional compilation. See, first of all, what is conditional compilation? What purpose we are using the conditional compilation? See here, this conditional compilation, it is used to instruct the compiler. What is compilation? See, during the compilation time, here what are the code we have written, that source code will be translated into the machine code. So this compiler, it is a kind of translator which translate our source code to the machine code. See, there were two kind of translators, the interpreter and compiler. See, the interpreter, in some language they use the interpreter as a translator. The interpreter will translate our source code line by line, but compiler, that is in our C programming language, we are using the compiler as a translator. So this compiler, what it will do, after completing our source code, will translate that source code to the machine code. So that here, for example, if you are writing a C code, let us assume test.c, our source code will have the extension with .c. Here this is the our source code. Let us assume here, suppose if you are having some block of statements, here after completing the block of statement or group of statement, here by help of the compiler, during the compilation time, this source code, this is our source code. The compiler get our source code as a input. After that, it will translate to machine code. See, this already we can see. Very first page, this preprocessor, by help of this preprocessor directive, we can include some files. After that, next page is compilation. That is, by help of this compiler, we are getting that source code which we have written in our editor. Then it will be converted to the machine code. See, this one is the block of statement. For example, let us assume here this one, totally this statement, let us assume in a function or a block. Here this one is block of statement, block 2. See, we are having two block of statement in the program. Suppose if we want to execute block 1, this statement, if I no need this block 2, then by help of this preprocessor directives, that is conditional compilation, we can tell the compiler, that is we can to take this block 1 and to convert it into the machine code. Suppose in case if I need block 2, if I no need this block 1, that also by help of this conditional compilation we can give this block of statement as a input to the compiler. After this block 2 will be converted into the machine code. While running, execute this block 2 only. Suppose if you are giving this. So by using this conditional compilation, we can instruct the compiler to execute a group of statement. We can give the condition. If the condition satisfy, then under that directive, what are the statements were there, that statement will be execute. Otherwise, that statement will not execute. So for this purpose, mainly we are using this conditional compilation. See, in real time, where and all we can use this conditional compilation. See, the first use, now let us see here, this one. See, first use this conditional compilation, it is used to command out a line of code. That means here, suppose if we no need this block 1 to execute. So by using this conditional compilation, here we can ignore this block 1, so that at the translation time, here this preprocessor, by using this preprocessor command, we can block this one. That is, the compiler will skip this block of statement. So here at the execution time, the compiler will translate this block 2 statement only. Then after translating to the machine code will run this block 2 statements. Here block 1 statement will be ignored. So for this purpose, mainly we are using this conditional compilation. And the second one here, portable, that is program portability. See, whatever program we are writing in the C here, that C program should be portable. That is, that program should run at every configuration systems. So that this conditional compilation, by help of this conditional compilation, we can make our program portable. So it is used to make the program portable. So here, for example, if I am having two computer, first computer Intel based, the second computer AMD based. So if I am writing a C program, that program should be run at any kind of system, whether it is Intel based or AMD based. So here, by using this conditional compilation, for example, here I am writing here. See, by using this if def, we can, what purpose this if def it is used? If the macro defined, then condition will be true for this if def. So here, by help of this if def, I am finding here if it is the Intel based PC, then here I can write code. Next, see here, we can make our program as portable by using this conditional compilation. See here, by using this if def directive, I am checking if it is a Intel PC, then we can write here the program that is suitable for the Intel PC. Suppose if I am running the source code in the AMD PC, AMD based PC, there here the code that is suitable for the AMD PC, here we can write this code here in the else part, so that we can run the source code in the both system, that is whether it is a Intel system or AMD processor system. See, I am completing this if condition here, that is if here endif. Whenever we are writing the if def directive, we should complete with that in endif. So here hash symbol endif, I am completing this code here. Here next to this code, that is which is suitable for the both PC, that is this code should be, this feature should be in both system. Then we can write here, that is code which support for the both PC, that code can be written here. Suppose if we are running this program, for example, let us assume here we are having some set of statement, some lines here, programming line. This programming lines were suitable for Intel PC. This programming line is suitable for AMD PC. Next, this program is suitable for both one. Suppose if I am running it in Intel PC, here this part, that is if part, and after this end if, this code suitable for the both PC, this part will be work in the, will be executed in this Intel PC. Suppose if I am running it in AMD PC, here this else part, this code suitable for the AMD bus. After the else part, here this set of statement and this code will be executed in the PC. So here we can run it over any computer. So this program which we are writing in our C, it is portable. By help of this conditional compilation, we can make it portable. See, next to use third one. It is used to avoid the duplicate code entry. See, for example, once only header. In previous class we had seen about how to create our own header file and how to include that header file to the in our source code. So this, when we are creating a header file, after creating a header file, suppose if I want to include that header file to my source code, here suppose if I am including 2 or more than 2 times, then what it will happen. So now let us see this one. Third one. See, suppose if you are creating a header file, this header file name is a.h, let us assume. Here you are having some functions. Here you are creating a function. Suppose if you are creating another one header file, that is b.h, let us assume b.h. Here you are creating, very first here I am including the a.h. Here within double quotes a.h. Here I am having two, first a.h. Here I am having some set of codes. Next b.h. Here I am including this a.h to where, to the b.h header file. So here after that I am having some set of functions. Next, this is my main program. So let us assume this one, test.c. This is the C program. Here in this C program, suppose if I am include this a.h, next suppose I am calling this b.h. After that void main, some set of statement. Here very first call here a.h. During this time the preprocessor, what it will do, it will include the code, that is header file code, to where we had included, in that area this code will be included here to our source code. Next time here I am calling b.h. So in b.h here at the pre-processing time I am telling, not compiling time. See, at the pre-processing time this b.h also will be included. Here inside this b.h I am calling a.h. So this code a.h will be again included. So here a.h, this is first time included. When I am including b.h, at that time also inside the b.h I had include a.h. So here this a.h will be included again. So totally how many times? 2 times. A.h is included here 2 times. That is, we no need the duplication. So here, to avoid such kind of problems, we can use this conditional compilation. By help of this conditional compilation, we can include our header file, that is for once only header. So for this purpose mainly uses. These are the uses of this conditional compilation. See, now let us see some examples. Here, if def, what purpose we are using? See here, if macro defined, then the condition will be true. If the macro defined, then the condition will be true for the if def. For this, just opposite to the if def, for this if and def. Here, if the macro were not defined, then condition will be true. Suppose if the macro is defined, then the condition will be false. So here, this is opposite to the if def, that is if and def. Here, suppose if the macro is not defined, here the condition will be false in here. Just opposite. So here macro should be defined, here macro should not defined. Next, if elif, here elif is nothing but just like else if. Here whenever we are including this if or if and def or if, here we should end that conditional part with end if. So now let us see one by one with a simple examples. See, now let us see about the if def. Here this program, it is used to illustrate if def. This one very simple. Here, how to use this if def? Let us see here. Here, if the macro defined, then if def, the condition will be true, otherwise the condition will be false. So here, by help of this if def, what I am doing here, I am defining very first the macro as sample, macro name as sample. Here, by using this if def, I am checking whether the sample had defined or not. If it is defined, then I am telling to print the macro name, that is sample had defined. Otherwise, if it is not defined, this else part, this alternative of if is else. Here, so otherwise this else, in else part I am telling the macro name was not defined. Here, so in this way we can, by using this if def, we can test whether the macro had defined or not defined. So here I am giving the macro name as sample and I am testing here by using if def. Here if def, there is the macro name sample. So here in this printf, the output, it will display the macro sample has defined. So in the output screen, this message will be displayed. See, suppose if you are not including this sample, otherwise you give some other name here. I am giving here square. So when we are executing this time, here by using ifdef, I am checking whether this sample were defined or not. Here if it is defined, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So here sample was not defined above, so this part will be false. So here in else part I am telling to print the macro not defined. So this message will be displayed here. See, next we will see if and def. Here just if and def is opposite to this if def. What purpose we are using if and def? If it is not defined, then condition will be true. So by using this if and def, now I am going to check. Check whether the header files were included or not. If the header files were not included, then preprocessor will include the header file to the source code. Otherwise, the preprocessor will not include the header file to the source code. So this is the logic for this program. So here very first I need to create a header file, and I should include that conditional compilation directive to the header file. See here, now let us see about that. So first I need to create the header file. See, first I am writing the header file for this one. Here I can write some functions code here. See, again I am creating another one header file. This file name See, here I have created two files. The first file name, this one, header1.h. The second file name, header2.h. See, totally I am having two header file, and here I am going to write the C program, that is our source code. Here very first see, very simple. I am creating the two header file and I am including that header file to the source code. Let us assume this source code name as test.c. While compiling this compilation time, at very first step the preprocessor will include the header files to the where at the build process I am telling to our source code. Here this stdio.conio.h, this and all will be included. After here I am telling to include the header1.h. So here this header1 file 1.h is here. I am including this code to here, that is to this part. So this one is called one time. After that I am telling to include the header2.h. So here this file will be included here. Here inside the header file, the header2.h, I am including again this header1.h. So this header1.h will be included here. After this part, totally these two functions will be included here. So this header.h will be included here. How many times? Totally 2 times. First time and the second time. After that this header2.h, under this function here there is one function, totally this one time and this will be included 2 times. So here this header1.h we no need for second time, in this case I am telling. So here we should avoid the duplicate copy. So here for that we can use this if not defined, that is we can use this directive, preprocessor directive if and def. So here by using this if not defined, if and def, we can avoid the duplicate copy. So here when we are writing the header file itself, we should define this if and def. So here what is the our file name? Header1.h. Here I am writing this code here. Very first here you should include. Suppose without including, if you are running this program, it will take 2 times. This header file will be included, h1 will be included 2 times. To avoid that I am telling here, if you use this code, if this preprocessor directive, then we can avoid the duplication code. See, if not defined, that is header 1, then define header 1. Next, after that you can write the what are the functions we need, we can write under this macro. Then at last here end if. So header files, it contains macros and the functions. Here by using this preprocessor directive, here I am telling if it is not defined, I am telling to define the header 1 macro. Under that here I am mentioning the functions, that is test h1, this is the function name. Next here after that I am ending this with end if. Next here, now if I am running this program, what it will happen? At very first time when I am including the header1.h, here the preprocessor will check whether already defined or not. Here I have telling if and def, it is not defined, that is the meaning for if and def. If not defined header 1, then I am telling to define the header 1 and this function. Here at very first here when pre-processing time, here it will check whether the header 1 is defined or not. If it is not defined, then it will define here. So this time here at very first here it will include the header 1 because it is not defined. So one time it is included. See, next here I am telling to include the header2.h. So this header2.h will be included here. Inside this header2.h I am including the header1.h here. So at the second time when we are including this one, here first step it will include the header1.h. So it will go to the header1.h. Before including, it will check whether not defined header 1. If it is not defined, then the condition is true. But here the header 1 is defined, so the condition is false, so the macro will not consider the second time. So second time it won't included to the where to our source code. Next, after that remaining this one, next this will be copied, that is void test2.h. This will be copied one time, so single time only for each and every time it will take. So here next, see, let us see the output. Here this is the output. Here I am calling the function, that is test h1. Where is the test h1? That function is under the header file header1.h. so here inside this function, what are the statements, that statement will be executed. Here I am telling simply single statement only, I am telling to print here inside header1 file. This statement will be executed. After completing here, next here I am calling test h2 function. See, this test h2 function where, that is under the header2.h header file. So here test2.h, this statement will be executed inside. Here I am telling to print inside header2 file. So this will be printed like this, header2 file. So the compiler at runtime, what it will do, already I had told you, compiler just it will take our source code and it will convert, that is translate to the machine code. So while translating, this duplication value will be avoided and only the single content only will be given to the compiler, and the compiler will convert that to the machine code. See, now let us see about the see here I am telling how to use this if, elif and else and endif. Here I am using the header files, that is stdio.h, conio.h. After that I am defining the macro, a macro name as shape. Here suppose if we need to draw the shape, depending upon what we are mentioning here in the macro value, here suppose if we want to draw the shape, here we can define the shape and we can give the values to that macro. Here if the macro value is 1, then here I am telling to print the circle selected. Suppose if you want to draw the circle, here we can write the code for that one, for drawing the circle. Next one in same way, suppose in case if you want to draw the square, here instead of 1 if you are giving 2, then this else part will be selected, the square will be selected. Say in same way, suppose if you are giving some other numbers, here the rectangle will be selected. So here in else part I am giving the rectangle selected. Here depending upon what shape we need, we can mention here in the macro. So upon that value, here this shape will be selected and it will be drawn. So this is some simple example for the if, elif and else directive. See here in the output, very simple. Here I am defining the shape as 1. So here this part will be work. Inside this if part, this condition will be true. Here this set of statements will be work under the if part. So here I am giving the single statement only. Here I am telling to print the message that is circle selected. So this is the example for if, elif, else and end if.